Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Dan French. Again, this is Wealthytainment, and we got a great one to unpack about the NBA and how there was illegal betting going on and a lifetime ban from a basketball player. Now, I don't know the basketball player. I don't know much about him, but I did bring in my good friend Chris to talk about what happened with this situation and why this is so important. Chris, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing well, brother. I'm looking forward to again hashing out another topic with my good friend,
Yep.
bouncing off these perspectives. Let's get to it.
All right, man. So the basketball player, Jontay Porter, I think he's a brother of another basketball player, came out and he got caught for trying to gamble and not perform or not play. And it was big news. The NBA came out and gave him a lifetime ban, which to me is pretty stupid. I mean, you're already making, I don't know, maybe he's making a million. I don't know what he's making, a couple million, whatever it is. I heard it was like something along the lines of 20 or 30,000. I don't know the whole details, but what happened with this, Chris?
So he had a buddy bet $54,000. It was like $50,000, or just round it to an even number, and for him to tank his performance. I believe the ban is warranted. I
Okay.
mean, sports that's one of the not only, but probably what we use as an example, definitely here in America, as like giving your all, like leaving it all out there, performing your best, not giving up, not quitting in preparation to the game. And to go out there and to 1000% go against everything of what it means to be a competitor is disgusting. You have no moral compass, low character. You have no character, and fuck the money. I don't care if he was going to do it and make $5 million, right? So let's just erase that part. The fact that he did it for even less and risk his salary is let you know the type of individual that got banned. And so you have another situation, Shitani, the person that the Dodgers just signed. He's going through betting allegations. And I'm pretty sure there's people in the football world, money, betting is already a multi-billion dollar industry. And players, believe it or not, are going to find ways to try to trick the system and make a couple bucks. The fact that there's only been so little bit of bans, I think that's the bigger issue. There hasn't been that many people banned out of the NBA or sports, period. You have someone, Pete Rose, the iconic Pete Rose, who is not going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame for betting on baseball. There has been thousands of people after Pete Rose that have not been, I guess, given a punishment, sort of like what Pete Rose has gotten.
Yeah, but you look at, I want to bring something up, man. So let's take me down to the mindset. The big problem is is this immaturity? Is this starting from family about how they raise their kids? Where does the mindset go where you're going to go and try to bet on something this small? Is it more of just because you got more time on your hands, you're just not you're not focused? Maybe you think it's a game, or you're just trying to play something to kind of win. And even if it risks your occupation, which could have made him, I don't know how good he would have been, but he could have made millions, multi-million dollar contracts. My question would be is, what is his IQ and why is he doing this? I mean, it's almost like people just are not smart enough to see the big picture. They can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's more of a thrill because they're in the moment. Maybe they're young, they're not educated, or they're not taught to do these things. Maybe they are. I don't know. But where does somebody like him come into the mindset? Is it you don't have the right direction, immaturity? It's the thrill. He's young. He wants to challenge, power. He wants to, how it works. You mean you're younger, you think you're invincible, you don't think you're ever going to get caught with things. What do you think? Why do you think he did this?
Yeah, mindset is the key word in what you just said. And he has character deficiencies. It's no different than like, a doctor that's making a lot of money. He's got certain practices, and then he gets popped for like Medicare fraud. And the Medicare fraud for 200 grand. Like when I hear these stories, I'm like, what is that? You already you hear more about it than people who've already established a nice income, a nice living, and then almost pedaling backwards. I guess it's just from a lack mindset that there's not enough. Maybe I don't know, because I can't quite align with what you're asking, because I can't quite make sense of why. Definitely someone on a professional level in terms of sports figure, whether you're a superstar or not, these guys are making life changing money, and the fact that you're just morally challenged to say, oh, you know what, I'm going to go out here and bet 50,000 knowing I could be banned and risk that. So it's either they're morally challenged, have a character deficiency, or it's ego. What do I mean by that? My ego is so large and so bound that I feel that I can do it and not get caught.
That's a great analogy on that ego. I don't know, man. I just think that there's something lacking in a lot of these athletes. I get it. They're focused on work on your skills, be consistent. And listen, you can make a lot of money. You got a lot of people watching these sports. And I'm not saying I don't dislike sports. I do like sports. I do. But you have to think that somebody outside of the realm of just, hey, go shoot basketballs and work on your dribbling and whatever it is and your jumping and your IQ of basketball, somebody should have taken this guy under his wing. It could be his parents. I think he has an older brother that's in the NBA. Somebody needed to say something to this kid and say, listen, man, in 10 years from now, if you see yourself missing out on all this money, you may never get a chance like this again. So you need to stick under somebody that's going to give him and direct him. And I feel that, is it somebody's job to do that? No, but I think that if you're going to put people in this position and then they have the access of money and then, like you said, ego, I mean, it's a matter of time before somebody's going to push that to the end, right? Where they're going to say, I'm going to try it out. I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to check out my chances. I think it was a combination of everything we said. I think it's probably the dumbest move I've seen though in a while, where you're betting 50,000 and I'm sure he's making over $1 million. Weigh that out. Yeah. And it's not even that, it's the future money that he could be making if he stayed in the NBA. I just think he's an idiot.
Oh, 100%. And then you have someone like, we had a fight this past weekend, Ryan Garcia against Devin Haney. And then Ryan Garcia, who was the underdog, like he takes the opposite mindset. It's reported that he bet $2 million on himself to beat this undefeated champ. So he believed in himself so much, and his training and his mental and physical fortitude to beat another man, and he won the fight. So,
real quick though, you brought something up. How can you bet on yourself? Is that not illegal?
No. So in boxing here in Nevada, in Nevada, you can bet on yourself.
Interesting. So this guy that was in the NBA, it's banned. NFL, it's banned. MLB, it's banned. Boxing says it's okay if you want to go and put $5 million on yourself and bet on yourself. Is this included in the UFC?
But he's not betting on himself to lose. He's betting on himself to win.
Yeah, but just the idea of betting on yourself, to take money that you have, you could say, hey, I'm going to lose, couldn't you? Say, hey, I'm going to put $5 million that I'm probably going to lose this fight. Could you actually do that?
Well, no, because then you're playing, because now you can go out there and lose the fight on purpose. Not throw punches.
See what I'm saying?
Get hit, not be as hurt, and then just go down.
So the only access you have for boxing is you got to bet on yourself, and that's the only option you have.
Yeah, you can. I'm betting that I'm gonna kick this person's ass. Because if I go out, I can't throw the fight now. Because if I bet $2 million on myself and I lose $2 million.
Do you ever let's sum this up. So my conclusion is, I think that the NBA and the NFL and all these big leagues that we talk about, these big sports leagues, this ain't going to go away. Um, Now, I do want to say though that making this a lifetime ban is going to really put out there that he ain't playing. You know what I mean? That guy's not playing um, as far as the commissioner goes. So, do you want to threaten that at a young age? Maybe if somebody's been in the league 10 years and then they decide, hey, traditionally, if you've grown and matured, you're not going to do that. So, I think that betting is always going to be a problem, and there's always going to be younger people for the most part that's in
Yeah,
the league that's going to be
yeah,
testing the waters. And what do you think?
I agree. I think they need to crack down on it more because sports is highly manipulated. And it's because of, I mean, you got one guy who got popped, but this is running rampant. And because of the industry's, money's fueling it, the betting industry, I think that it needs to be cracked down on much, much more. I believe that every sports entity in itself, soccer, baseball, basketball, NFL, hockey, I believe that they should all have their own internal like team. They probably already have that. I don't know. I don't work for any of those organizations, but definitely geared into finding out and figuring out if people are betting on games because it's manipulating sports and believe it or not, it's putting a bad taste in people's mouths on when they watch sports and they can clearly see that the game has been influenced by calls and of that nature.
Yeah, the big thing to me, what you said too, is just to kind of go off of what you said, is that it can be manipulated. And here's the thing: if you're out there, and let's say you put a bunch of money on these teams, right? Let's say you did a parlay. Now it's going to deter people from betting altogether. And if you find these things out, what's that going to do? The average fan or the person out there watching these sports, I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to support that because part of the fun is gambling. Part of the fun is when you go to the Super Bowl, it's you're putting money into it. I'm saying that's on a grand scale, but if you're affecting people and affecting their money, man, I'm out. And I think that's what the NBA is scared of. I think a lot of these sports teams are scared of, and including you may lose sponsorships and also these big TV contracts that they have. If they get enough of this out there, they could be like, you know what, we're pulling the plug. That would change the landscape of any one of those sports teams, those professional sports teams. You got anything else to say?
No, that's we'll leave it at that. We'll see. I believe that this is just going to fuel and start getting the NBA more involved, whether they want to or not, and these other sports organizations to start getting these players that are throwing games and sacrificing for one, their livelihood, and well, no, for one, your character, and then two, your livelihood, just for a couple bucks.
Yep. All right, guys, that's it. Wealthytainment. Subscribe, like the channel. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. Please leave any comments in the comment section, and we will see you guys at the next one. Chris and I are out of here.